It usually starts quietly. A feeling you get when you look at the numbers. They aren't what they should be. The business is losing money, and the first instinct is to do something. Anything.
And in that moment of pressure, a very common pattern starts to emerge. We tell ourselves a story to explain what's happening, an assumption. And then we act on that assumption. But what if the real problem isn't the market, or the product, or the price? What if the problem is the way we're trying to solve the problem? This is about a fundamental shift in thinking, a move beyond just guessing. When sales start to decline, there's a predictable cycle of reactions. A business owner feels that pressure, and the guesswork begins.
The first reaction is often price. The story we tell ourselves is, maybe we're just too expensive, and so prices get cut. The hope is that this will bring more people in the door.
When that doesn't quite work, the next guess is usually about visibility. We just need more marketing. So money is spent on an ad without really diagnosing the core issue. A third common reaction is to question the product itself. Maybe people are just tired of what we offer. So a new product is developed and launched.
In this flurry of activity, everything gets tried. Everything. Except the one thing that could actually fix the problem. And that is to just stop and understand.
This cycle of reacting isn't a strategy, it's guessing, and this pattern is what so often leads to failure.
To solve a problem, it really helps to name it. The enemy here isn't a slow quarter or bad luck. It has a specific name.
And that name is speculation. It's simply the act of making a decision without evidence, without data.
This is a really crucial distinction. Oftentimes, the original business idea is perfectly fine. The failure happens much later, in the small, day-to-day decisions that are made based on pure speculation.
The alternative here isn't some complex, expensive process. It's just a shift in mindset. It's a move away from guessing and toward knowing. This shift is often called applied research. And that doesn't mean you need a PhD or a lab coat. It just means that when a real business problem shows up, the answer is found in real data.
So what does this actually look like? Well, when sales drop, guessing asks a really vague question, like, maybe the market is just slow. But research asks specific questions. Which product sales are down? At what time of day? With which customers? Through which sales channel?
Let's look at a simple, real-world example. A cafe owner noticed her sales were falling. Her first guess was to cut prices across the board. But before she did that, she decided to look at the data. And the data told a completely different story. Her morning sales, her coffee rush were as strong as ever. The problem was entirely in the evening. The issue wasn't the price at all. It was the time of day.
So, armed with this one piece of knowledge, she took very targeted actions. She changed the menu in the evening to be better for dinner, she improved the lighting to make the space feel more inviting at night, and she created special combo offers just for the evening crowd.
Now just think about the alternative. If she had followed her first guess and just cut prices on everything, she would have lost money on her already successful morning sales, and it wouldn't have solved the evening problem at all. Guessing would have been a very costly mistake. The data led her to the right decision.
So if using data is so clearly effective, why do so many of us avoid it? Well, the reason is often less about practicality and more about psychology.
We tend to avoid data because it's objective. It doesn't care about our feelings or our favorite ideas or our ego. Data really only has one job, to reflect reality. And sometimes that reality shows us that we're wrong.
So the next time a problem comes up, there's a simple framework that can help. First, define the problem with real precision. Not just sales are down, but evening sales have decreased by 30%. Second, collect the relevant data. And third, make a decision based only on that evidence, not on a feeling.
This process, it isn't complicated. It's just sound decision-making. It's about putting evidence before ego.
When we look at successful businesses, it's very easy to chalk it up to luck. But it's almost never luck. It's curiosity. It's that persistent habit of asking, what is actually happening here?
In the end, it's a choice. To react based on an assumption or to act based on understanding. It's the difference between guessing and knowing.